I'm not gonna go like I'm not gonna go into full editing. I think we can just have like a you guys just talk like you do,
Okay.
and I'll put it on the internet.
I like it. That's cool. Yeah, yeah. We should just chat about what's going on and chat about what we're smoking. And
Okay, for sure. Some really crappy news. Amy brought it to my attention that John Prine,
I know,
yeah.
but he hasn't.
John Prine left us?
No, he hasn't died. He's just not.
Oh.
He's not doing well.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, with the COVID-19.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and Joe Diffie, another country singer.
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away.
He,
61.
Yeah, 61. He had some big hits in the 90s. Wrote a lot of songs with Tim McGraw and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
From the virus?
Yeah, he actually died from coronavirus or COVID.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
COVID-19.
Is that the theme song?
It's being hard.
I know. What? You said it, not me. You gave it a jingle.
You know, I saw this on Twitter the other day, and it made me think. And it was like someone was like, "Yeah, CBD can like cure COVID-19, right?" And right away, people were like, "No, it can't. Don't listen to this information." But you know, I mean, the question side of me was just like, "But can't we at least like look into this?" You know, like. You know, of course, they say, like, you know, I'm just going to go right into it. But these are the thoughts I've had with cannabis and COVID-19. But it's like, you know, terpenes, like pinene, you know, or terpinolene, like things that make you breathe better. Could that help with people with COVID-19? Like, these are the questions you'd be asking instead of saying, no, stop, right? What do you think?
I don't know. I think personally, I think it's unfortunate that that there are. I mean, it's the internet, and there's a lot of really impressionable people out there. So when people go out there and say things like that without researching anything, without looking into anything, you're going to get a lot of people who are very impressionable and who are like, yeah, we can cure COVID. And all of a sudden, this is how, you know, some serious misinformation starts, kind of thing. And people get more sick than they needed to be, or, you know, like forego treatment because they thought that they could put their faith in cannabis to cure COVID, or, you know, like just weird shit happens, man.
Yeah, and I get it. Oh, sorry. I get it. I mean, like, we know where it comes from, right? Like, we've been, you know, as cannabis educators, we've all been talking about how cannabis has cellular protective properties. Cannabis can help regenerate cells. So this is a cellular disease, from what I understand, right? So it's easy to understand where that leap kind of goes from. But to Chris's point, yeah, like, let's get some research on this, because who's to say that it doesn't, right? I mean, you're right. I mean, it's not the miracle cure, and like people selling CBD for these like packages or teas or whatever. I mean, that's shame on them. But there could be something there.
Yeah, I just think
as long as
yeah, sorry, Kay, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I think, yeah, the most important thing is as long as claims aren't made, it's kind of like any other thing that we're starting to gain some respectability, and we're starting to gain a lot of scientific research behind it that, you know, actually stands the test of reproducibility type of thing. So if we go into any kind of claims, even if they're not, like, even if it's in the same sentence, I can see people getting a little bit up in arms around the fact that there is no science behind it at this point. But that said, and to your point as well, we have a lot of time on our hands now. So to actually try different therapies, different methods, different terpenes and such around maybe anti-inflammatories or easier breathing. Of course, if you already have the virus, you're not going to be wanting to mess with your lungs. But yeah, there's a lot of time that we can do our own anecdotal type of practices on it. So I think there's as long as you don't go overboard and everything low and slow, like we always say, you know, see if it works.
Is this the thing that gets rid of the stigma of cannabis?
I think right now, like, I know it's really weird, but I think this everyone being at home, you know, I think is really good for the cannabis industry, because I think people are going to realize, like, hey, it's a really safe alternative if that's what you're just looking for as a high, let alone the medical side.
Yeah, I think sales have evened out a little bit, but I mean, just by the fact that it's been deemed an essential service, just that goes so far to break stigma, to bust that like stone, like, you know, it's a huge win for the cannabis industry and community if we can kind of sustain this. I think. I mean, silver lining here, of course, I'm talking, but you know.
Yeah, true. I love that. There's those memes out right now. It's like, this is the first time in history where you could get pulled over by the cops after curfew or whatever. And you're like, no, man, I'm just going to buy my weed at the cannabis store. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Go right ahead. It's an essential service.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I know. Speaking of, are you guys finding you're smoking more?
Oh yeah. When I weekend quarantine, I still work during the week, right? So, but
Yeah.
weekend quarantining and weeknight quarantining, but it's fun, you know. I'm divulging into music I haven't heard or finding new music, but it's a lot of fun trying different cannabis. You know, a lot of it's sundial, especially your Blue Dream.
Nice.
Is
Is that what you're smoking right now? What are you guys smoking?
Yeah, well, I got some Blue Dream here actually, and then I got a little shout out to you here, Basil. Oh.
Nice.
Oh.
Which one is that? Horizon?
Yeah, Horizon. Yeah, I got it on sale at, I can't remember. I think it was a 420 store. I got it on sale.
That's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Yeah, it's a fun, happy one. I think it's full of myrcene.
Hey, Chris, pass that Blue Dream up here.
Yeah.
No, over to the left a little. My left. Keep going. There we go.
Oh,
Okay, I got it.
Oh,
Thanks.
okay, great.
Perfect.
Did you wash your hands like that?
Or
You gotta
I'm
wash
going to
your
be
hands.
spraying it down because it was in your house.
That's funny. I think everybody's getting so crafty these days too. Like, I know personally, I'm starting to bake more. So my favorite thing about now is I've always got cookies. I've always got edibles. I've always got, you know, it's kind of like, yes, I've had time to make that. Yes, I've actually had time to try peanut butter and chocolate chip cookies. And yeah, crafty.
I'm cleaning my house more.
Are you?
Are you?
Big time. I got a trailer parked out in front of the door that's just filled up with stuff, just clean in house. It's taking this time to really like move out stuff and get rid of just like, yeah, full on.
Are you doing the Maria Conte or whatever? Are you seeing if it brings you joy?
Oh, you know, Laura got into that show, and now all my clothes are folded differently.
Ooh.
And they're all in things. It brings me a lot of joy.
That does bring you joy, yeah. Folded clothes.
You do.
Cool story, bro.
Oh, you got your coffee. Nice. I got some, I've been doing some experimenting. So I got some Edison bites and some Bang chocolate. The Edison bites are delicious. You know me. It's a tasty chocolate, but it didn't do much for me on this, you know, on the high side. But I did manage to I ordered the last 5 beverages off the albertacannabis.org site.
There you go.
This morning, I broke down. I bought some houndstooth.
Yeah.
I bought the last 5 cans, so I'll have to let you guys know how that goes. I
really
wanted to buy 6, but it would only let me buy 5, and then once they were gone, they were gone.
You know what?
Like the Easter egg bunny chocolate.
Yeah, that's right. Only till Easter.
Once they're gone, they're gone.
I heard that they made them an equivalent of 5.0 or 5.1, I believe it is.
5, yeah, it's like just over 5 grams.
You can't buy 6 at a time. You can only buy 5.
Oh, is that why? Oh, I guess you'd be right. Yeah,
that would be the reason. But it's odd to me to make that equivalency factor a 0.1 higher than 5. Like, I mean, you could technically figure out a way to make that equivalency factor. You know, you could bring it down just a little bit, make that equivalency factor 5, but it's 5.1.
And there's only 2 milligrams of THC in the whole can.
That's right. That's right.
So I wanted to drink 6 cans. Yeah, and each can has its own tax stamp and is like child-proof. And it's like I'm excited to get it because I think it's just going to be an experience.
So essentially, the fact that you can only buy 5 at 2 milligrams each means that in total you're only able to purchase 10 milligrams at a time still.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are you going to drink them all at once?
Yeah, that's the plan.
You're gonna have to shot them.
Really?
I'm just gonna shoot them all.
He's
yeah.
gonna like, yeah.
Just gonna funnel them all. I've heard the flavor is pretty decent, so I'm excited about that. I saw
What
someone
flavor
who,
is it again?
it's like a mint or
Cannabis.
like a limey water soda thing, which is
Maybe-
good. I like that.
Maybe pour them out into a cup and let them get a little bit flat so you can actually down
Just
down
drink.
at a time.
Someone I saw drank 2 and said they were quite surprised by how they were affected.
Awesome.
Is
4
it
milligrams.
Good news.
is it like a aluminum can?
Yeah.
So like in a way, it'd be kind of neat. You can almost do like a, I mean, it's not good for you, but maybe once, like make a pipe.
Oh, I
Out of a-
like it.
Yeah,
Hey, very nice.
I don't
Very
know how much
creative.
irony that has now, but don't forget your roots.
I like it.
Can we do this on air? Are we allowed to smoke
Sure.
On air?
Why not?
CBD joint here?
Please, guys.
A new
let's-
bong. Oh no, that's your
Cheers.
hexagon, is it?
Yeah,
Cheers.
I love this bong.
Like it. Yeah.
You guys think I'm prepared? Here, Kate.
I have my shelf
Where are
right
you,
over
Kate?
there, but I have
Kate.
to roll it.
Where are
Yeah.
you? Oh, that way?
I'm all the way over on the opposite side of you.
It's different for everyone.
Yeah.
So this is not going to work.
It's not gonna. It's
Too bad.
Yeah. If you were right beside me, it would have worked. Damn it.
Damn.
That's fine.
How many of you are or have watched Tiger King?
Not yet.
It's on my list tonight, actually.
I'm only 2 episodes in. I'm watching it tonight.
I binged it yesterday after.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hey,
And
I've had a lot of people telling me like to watch it, but no one's told me like what's going on or what it's about. So like, give me like a quick.
I don't. Okay.
The tigers are
Tiger
cute.
It's a gun
It's a
toting.
private zoo.
Yeah. So it's Joe Exotic is this gun toting redneck gay polygamous tiger raiser.
What?
Tiger Razor.
And so
You got a kid?
he
Oh my god.
I don't think I can say it again. Like
Yeah.
he's the most like it's the most interesting cast of characters you could ever imagine. And the story has like, so just when you think you understand what the story is about, so the premise is basically he's in jail for a failed murder plot, and that's where the story starts, and then it just like it gets layered. And I won't give you any spoiler alerts, but like
Wait, what's the
I
name of it again?
watched, Tiger King. I think it's it's like 7 hours, which I watched straight through. And it is like the most I don't think, like, just watching it the whole time I was just like, what the fuck, like the whole time.
Cool.
Like, oh,
Cool.
okay, I understand what's going on, something else would happen and you're like, is this real? This cannot be real. But it's real. And it's like there's basically, anyways, I won't spoil it anymore, but you guys have to watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I've been dying to watch it. It's on my list, so I think it's getting tackled tonight.
I wasn't going to watch it, but then when you guys talked about it during the during Love and Herbs, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll do it. I'll bite.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea what we're talking about. So now I know.
You guys remember like Murray Bannerman in hockey?
Yeah, for
Goalie?
sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw they had a game on yesterday of one of their like
Oh really?
flashback. Yeah, it was the Canucks. It was Nielsen when he had like the white towel and he held it up and he got ejected.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah, in
like a
Chicago, there's
classic.
Murray Bannerman with that old mask that was like painted to his face, but that was kind of a flashback.
That's too funny. So they're playing
1982.
old games, select
Yeah,
hockey
yeah.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Flames beat Vancouver in Game 7 in 2004 yesterday too.
Oh, I remember that.
Where
That
were
was
you? in
Yes.
awesome.
2000 Where were you?
I was in
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg,
Winnipeg.
but I came home to Calgary for the
boobs?
finals where against Tampa Bay. Remember?
Yeah, I was in Annie Ganesh.
It was in.
Yeah, it was a goal.
Was
Yeah,
it?
That was the goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my.
Were you even born yet, Basil?
I was on the Red Mile.
He was on the Red Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
I don't
flashing
remember.
going on.
Night
down
manager.
I was there.
The Night
good
Manager
times.
is ridiculously good, I must say, but only the first 3 episodes.
The Night Manager? Is
It's
that a show?
ridiculously good, but only the first 3 episodes.
And then
It
what
really
happened?
is. It's like they changed directors or something. It made me so angry. Like the first 3 episodes are a work of art in terms of acting, script, lighting. Oh my God, it's so good. It started out as a BBC show, so you have to buy it on disc. But yeah, and I can't remember the guys' names, but except for Hugh Laurie is in it. Hugh
Oh, yeah.
Laurie. Oh, I love Hugh Laurie. But yeah, and then on the I watched the first 3 episodes because I'm watching it with my boyfriend. Is like, no, we can't go ahead. We can't watch the other episodes. So I watched the first 3 episodes like 8 times, and just adored it every single time. And then we moved on to the next one, and it was like, okay, who directed this? Because it's completely different. But I'd highly recommend the first 3 episodes.
Maybe you just
Night
need to
Manager.
watch it a few more times.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I just need to. I was expecting something different, I think, and they changed it up.
What's it called again?
Rude. The Night Manager.
The Night
Hugh
Manager.
Laurie and the guy. It's mostly British actors, or Australian actors, but
Avenue 5.
I love Avenue 5. Okay.
Yeah, it's very goofy. It's like comedy slap. Like I almost want to say slapstick. It's kind of strange. It's not slapstick though.
We started a new one last night with Phoebe's brother in it, called Sneaky Pete.
Oh, Sneaky Pete. Yeah, Giovanni Ribisi, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
So far, so good. Again, like you, Kate, we're only 3 episodes into it, but it's a pretty decent one.
Yeah, Sneaky Pete. Okay.
Are these on Netflix?
Sneaky Pete's on Prime.
Okay.
We have Prime?
Yes, we have Prime.
Nice.
I need to watch Prime.
Dogs are telling you they got Prime
Sorry,
too.
I'll mute it.
Watch it all the time.
Mhm.
I did manage to watch the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood last night.
Oh, and?
I recommend.
Good.
It's good. It's Tarantino, man. Like, you know, I like how we were talking earlier about this. Joe and I. He loves to like rewrite history. You
Okay.
know, like, or make history the way he sort of sees it through his eyes. So I kind of dig that, and this is very much kind of this way. You know, do you kind of know what the movie's about at all, or you guys know?
I mean,
I saw it myself too.
Oh, you
yeah.
saw it, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's great, eh? Like, I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. It was
you
kind
said
of.
Yeah.
grade A.
What's that, Basil?
Did you say it's like grade A or it's great A?
It's great. A.
Oh, do you know it's a really good movie? More American Graffiti.
Oh,
Not,
I didn't know there was more.
yeah, no, not American Graffiti. More American
More
Graffiti.
American
Fantastic movie. It only got like 5.5 on IMDb, whatever. But it's awesome. It's like Lucasfilms. Their Vietnam footage of what they were like redid Vietnam. And this movie came out in '79. It was well done. It's a great story, and I definitely worth checking out. It's called More American Graffiti. Yeah.
Okay. I like
Cool.
the
I
list.
love this. Getting
Yeah.
all the picks.
So you guys got any good weed
Yeah.
exciting coming? Hart, thanks to you. I made an order yesterday. I got 5 grams from Tilray of that. What is it? That's 30.8.
Pineapple Super Bud.
I got 5 grams of that coming. It was expensive, but I'm like,
I
you know, I've
know.
never had it over 30 before. So I'm like, well, that I know. So official, right?
Yeah,
So
I know.
I got
was
Green Kush coming too, because I love Green Kush. That's pretty much go-to.
too funny.
I can't wait.
Pineapple?
Pineapple Super Bud from Tilray.
It's $72.
Yeah, it was over. It was like 72 and change for
Yeah,
5 grams.
5 grams. But I was like, I've never done it before, so yeah, I had to get some flour.
Yeah,
That'd be
30.8%.
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptical.
I'm sorry, 30.8?
Yeah.
I'm skeptical, but you know.
I had to try it.
Wow.
You
know.
usually are.
I mean, I'm sure it's still. I'm just like pineapple. Anything I love, so that's what got me really.
Right.
So what would be the main terpene in a pineapple? thing?
Pineapple, actually.
Pineapple-ine?
Yeah.
Pineapple.
Pineapple-ine?
That's not how
I
you
like it.
pronounce that.
Pineapple-ine.
Pineapple.
Pineapple-ine.
Pineapple. That's Penophylline.
You show up and they're like, okay, your phone number and what car are you in? You give them the info and they write it down, and then you go back to your car. And then when your order is up, the guy comes running to your car with a spray bottle of sanitizer and a towel. He's got your pizzas. He's got the debit machine, offloads the stuff, gives you the debit machine with his gloves on, and then he sanitizes it before and after you use the debit machine. And I only just like tap that shit. And
I tap that shit.
and then and like, so they're rocking that.
Wow.
And they've also got like a healthy order in and walk away kind of business as well. So like that's the other lineup. And they were probably like, the whole time I was sitting there waiting, which really wasn't that long. Plus he gave me a free 2 liter of Coke for the wait. There was 9 different, like 9 people waiting to just go in and order. And they were all like 2 meters away kind of thing. Everyone was like chatting, staying respectfully from each other. It was pretty cool to see like how a local, small business like this is really like adapting and evolving to be able to maintain throughout this time kind of thing, and still be able to service
For sure.
the regular.
Adapting is
And
huge.
Because I think you were cut off from the first part of this. Who are you? Which business is it? Let's give them a.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Signore's Pizza in Bennington in Calgary. Some of the best pizza you're going to find in Calgary for starters.
That's true.
The way that they're reacting to COVID is just like, it blew my mind. I felt like really taken care of. Everyone was super cool about the process. People, like everyone was just being like calm and just like taking their time, and it was really well done.
I was out with Nold in the morning. It was a group chat, and it was just like my sister was like, hey, me and Lily, that's my niece, Claire's my sister, we're like, hey, we're gonna come see you, mom and dad, right? And of course with all the media, mom and dad were like, you know what, no, actually we're just gonna quarantine, so you just stay there. So I was like, well, this is great, because now I jokingly said, well, hey, I'll just mail dad's card for next, or no, I said, oh, I won't get dad's gift to him until July. Mom's like, well, no, just mail it. I'm like, oh, perfect. So anyways, I went to the post office. This is on Tuesday. I went during my lunch hour, and I went in there, and the guy who did like one of those total like standing way back and like doing the whole act going, ooh, ooh. So I started doing it too. So he goes, how are you going to pay for that? And I was kind of surprised he even said that. Like at this point, I was like, there's no way in hell they're going to say cash. But he even said like credit or cash. So I was like, oh, credit card. And I started like dancing, playing back too. But I didn't just realize how serious it was, and funny story though, mailed it off at noon. I got a text from my mom the next day at noon. They had already gotten the card. They live in Deer Ridge. I know, one day.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's
like the legend of
That's
organic.
amazing.
I know. I was impressed.
Next day. That's
wow.
crazy.
So shout out to Canada Post. Like that was quick. My dad's
not
birthday is until
typical.
April Fool's. April 1st.
No, that's not typical at all.
It's not typical. I shipped something on Monday to my cousin. It's not expected there until like April 2nd, it said. That's in Ontario. We're not talking about like Olds to Deer Ridge, which is like.
That's crazy.
I'm a big fan of the impossible shipping time stories. Like
that one.
Every once in a while, like it happens, right? Like my mom has this story where she claims that she made an order from Organigram on a Sunday evening and got her package Monday afternoon.
Wow.
I thought we were gonna
That's
have a
like the
story
perfect.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stork story.
We were married in August and you were delivered in September. Little Basil.
baby J. What's that?
Who are you talking to?
That's my wife, Kate.
The guy with the yellow glasses, I think, is who she
Oh,
meant.
yeah. It's a
yeah.
song. Oil thing.
This is my incredible. And then so you got a glass bowl up front that comes out, and it's gonna be really hot.
Wow.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
It's gonna be hot.
Oh my god, my fingers are burning. Glass bowl goes in.
That.
Nice.
And when you consume, You pull
You
this.
don't actually smoke weed, do you?
It's like a kazoo.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that is very neat.
What is that, like
That
faction
is
or fraction
slick.
or
Slick.
what causes
were-
that?
Pretty
Those
great.
were all the rage at the Natural Health Services Christmas party in 2016, I think.
I
Is that a
remember.
combustion.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah,
remember.
you guys were there, were you?
I was there. Yeah,
I
we were all
wasn't.
there. We were
They
all
were all
there. That's
there.
so weird.
Yeah.
Okay. I do remember some fun accoutrement. Is that the
Yeah.
correct term? Yeah. Out in the parking lot. We were joking because it's the only Christmas party where everybody's out in the parking lot at all times. Like,
Pretty much.
yeah, it was fun.
So you guys taking this opportunity at home to do some learning about cannabis stuff? Anybody?
Yeah,
I've been smoking a
I
lot.
mean, as much as I can,
Yes,
I
okay.
guess. Smoking a lot. Is that what you said, Chris? Smoking a lot.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Why not?
And come across anything interesting? Anything new?
Actually, I noticed in Kanye West back in like those big albums he came out with, like 2005, 2006, really good records. But it's like the way he talked about cannabis was just like it was like some heroin or something. It was just you go back, like even back then I wouldn't have known what I know about cannabis now. But it's just like I really hear him and I'm like and he'll say lyrics like, "Bitch, are you like on the reefer?" It's like, whoa. Now
Yeah.
looking at him like that's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm finding out in cannabis. I'm also into like this really eclectic kind of late English or late 70s, early 80s English sound right now. So like really
Ooh.
early XTC and all because of cannabis. Sitting on my couch,
You
with
listen to
music.
any Jam?
Yeah, Apple Music. Is that a song?
No, the Jam.
Oh, I love the Jam. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess they're more 80s.
I
UK.
remember them.
Yeah, no, the Jam's great. Like going underground and
Yeah.
Can you sing a
A-Bomb
song?
on Mordor
Sing a song,
Street.
Mark.
Yeah, you know.
They're
You know it.
great.
Chris has got it. I love
Sing
it.
a
Yeah.
song.
Ah,
Going underground, going underground.
nice.
Or That's Entertainment's a
that-
really good one.
That's a great tune.
Yeah,
actually.
when he's like, I think he
How
wrote
does
it
it
on the way home
go?
from the pub. Like within 15 minutes, he got home and he was kind of drunk, but it's a really nice kind of.
Oh, A-Bomb and Wardour Street. When
Adolf
he gets the shit beat out of him.
Oh, is that what it's
That
about?
one? Yeah, the story is he goes to the tube. He's got a curry. He's got a takeaway curry, and he goes to the tube, and some thugs basically beat the shit out of him and take his keys, and they're going home to his wife. Like it's a sad story, and he dies.
Wow.
Yeah,
Johnny Rotten,
Holy
he got
shit.
that too.
it's a great song though.
Yeah. It's a great song. I just didn't
Yeah.
know it was about that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm thinking A-Bomb.
Yeah. A-Bomb and Wardour Street. Yeah.
That's,
Or no, I'm thinking of a different tune actually.
no, hard.
You're all bought into that one.
Yeah, shit. You're right, because okay, anyway. They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. They're great. But it's been fun. A lot of weed though. And like I came across some Acapulco Gold that Amy had that I traded my
yeah.
Rex oil for.
Was that some Whistler?
The Whistler stuff?
You treated
It's
your
amazing.
Rex well.
It's
Yeah.
Andrew told me about it a long time
So,
ago, and I've
right
always been
here-
looking for it.
Here's what actually happened. Rex oil is like the only stuff that'll help me sleep at night. Like I take 0.1, between 0.1 and I've had to increase it to like 0.25 every night, and I have the best sleep in the world. And if I don't have it, like I have trouble sleeping and I'm a disaster. And I had told Basil this months and months ago, and I was really sad that they discontinued Rex oil and I only had a little bit left. And so he was nice enough, because this is what people do for you, to bring me this Acapulco Gold and said, it's very similar to Rex oil. Try this and see if it works. So the other day I found it, and Chris is like, oh my God, I love that stuff. And he's like, so I explained, I'm like, well, the reason I have it is because it's apparently really close to Rex oil and I need to sleep. And he got so excited and he's like, hold on a second, ran upstairs, came down with a brand new bottle of Rex oil. He didn't run.
Are you serious? Oh yeah. Okay.
A brand new bottle of Rex oil, and he's like,
That
I
he'd
was
been-
thinking this, but I'll trade you. I'm like,
Ooh.
So I took the trade because I need Rex oil, but I was just like, this is bullshit. Like,
I just held on to it. It was a good
So-
feeling, and look what it got
But-
me.
Basil gave me oil because he knew it would help me out, and my husband
yeah.
a bottle because he's like, well, I was
Yeah,
keeping it like a
Chris, no.
bottle of champagne.
I was the only one. Isn't this typical though, right? It's like the only one I decided to keep. I'm like, I'm going to keep this bottle of Rexall from Med Relief for like years to come because this is vintage. It's a really nice oil, but you know, in like 30 years from now, people are like me like, holy shit, you have that? So I just wanted to keep one thing. The one thing that Amy, your wife, can sleep with out of everything is the Rexall.
Yeah.
You know they have a Rex oil pen.
Oh,
See, there
really?
you go, Amy.
Yeah.
You got to get Med
Well, I
Relief.
think
Vape pen?
the
Yeah.
oil is like it helps keep me asleep. That's the trick, right? Like, so
correct.
maybe that might help me fall asleep. But this dosage of like this is like the perfect amount for whatever
I
reason,
remember you talking about it, so I'm
You're like
surprised that
sediment.
Chris didn't.
right? Anyways, I
We're
know this
sediment
isn't
at
marriage
the- at an
therapy,
Almog.
but I appreciate you.
Yeah.
awesome.
Hey, we can help you. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, let's have a therapy session.
Yeah.
How did you keep my Rex oil from me?
So thanks,
That's too
Basil.
funny.
You have as much soda stream as you want when you're over here.
Man, that's
It's back, right?
that's one of the things I've been missing right now. London Drug is on my high priority list of places to go right now, and we're out of carbonation.
Like a brand new one.
Whoa!
Still sealed.
Ooh.
What's that worth on the open market?
It's
Right?
like gold.
Bottle of Rex oil.
Put a roll of
Well,
toilet
now-
paper on the
Worth it.
top, $300.
Chris is saving it like a bottle of champagne. So
Yeah, exactly.
For
Like
30 years from now, someone will be like,
Someday.
you got one of those?
yeah, that's a
Right?
collectible.
Like I forgot.
Right in the backyard.
Is London? I guess London Drugs would still be open because it's a drugstore. So they're
I think it is still open.
It is.
nice.
It's definitely a essential service. So
So
is
the
it-
cannabis.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. You know what I saw too? Just talking about the grocery stores, taking it back to that. Stores have started doing like one-way aisles now too, because there's a lot of like like I found this. I went to Shoppers Drug Mart and like I'm standing there looking at something and someone has to walk by me. There's like, that's not 2 meters, so they've started like arrows at the front, like kind of one way, like you go this way down this aisle.
Wow. So like the IKEA store. but
IKEA,
yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of direct traffic.
Have you been? Yeah.
I
Have you
shop
been to
at a
Costco?
seniors.
No, I don't have a membership there. It's too dangerous for me.
Aw, it's too dangerous.
It
They
is.
they
I walk
have.
in there. I'm so high. I get high in the parking lot, and then I go in and I come out with so much.
That's dangerous.
Weed. I came out once. We had like this tiny like old house in Winnipeg, and we went to Costco and got really high and came back with this like Dolby surround system that we hooked
Oh,
up to
God.
the TV that
Yeah.
literally number one was so loud that the kids couldn't sleep like at one. So we ended up taking it back. Luckily Costco has a good return policy, but like shit like that, like I just buy, like it's just so dangerous for me.
In my head, I'm thinking about the giant size M&M peanuts bag. Like that's what's dangerous to be there.
Oh, that too. Oh, and the samples too.
All
Don't
of
get me
it.
started.
do you think
Yeah.
Costco will ever have cannabis? Like Costco cannabis? You think that'll ever be a thing?
Oh man.
Do they do liquor?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
their
they
own
can't-
liquor, yeah.
Yeah.
They do, but it's not membership based because the AGLC doesn't
Oh.
allow membership based liquor. So anybody can go to Costco liquor.
Yeah.
And they have really
But
great champagne.
huge,
What's-
huge bottles of their own kind of vodka for sure.
I bet you they
And-
will then eventually, unless they're like a super conservative company. I don't know too much about Costco.
We'll be buying like 2P tubs that'll come in like those like big plastic jars that like supplements come in and stuff like that.
With samples, like you go in and they'll have like a tray of samples.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, I think so. It's gonna be cool. They'll probably be
You
probably
could
be
buy
sold in
kilos
the
of
pharmaceuticals.
cannabis instead of grams. Although
And they'll
maybe
have all
not.
the top stuff. They're
Yeah.
kind of snobby. I like that the return policy is so good, I think, because they research everything to the nuts because their clientele is so picky.
Good
They're
analogy.
so picky. Wait, was it? Why?
What did you say?
To the nuts.
I got you. I follow.
I didn't even.
I didn't say it. I'm just saying.
Well, and then they'll honor all the returns too, though. That's the good thing.
Oh yeah, it's
Like,
it's a fun shop though. Definitely a good place. I don't know what it's
especially
like
if you're
now.
stoned in the parking lot.
Serious,
Yeah.
it's dangerous. So dangerous.
Yeah,
Used to be just
it
in
is.
there. There's a lot of people.
Gotta get close to your computer there, Razel.
There's a lot of people there. I get pretty anxious when I'm at the Costco.
Oh, do you? Oh, yeah. No kidding, eh? Like yeah, like you could get killed. Seriously.
Well, they
I don't
sell
go.
coffee, so
I don't go to
sell
Costco.
coffins. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do?
yeah,
They what? They have a cop?
they sell coffins.
Oh, coffins.
This is
Yeah.
like playing the telephone game.
What?
Coffin there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they sell
Somebody's
what?
coughing there?
I used to really like their pepperoni pizza.
What
Mhm.
happened?
I became a vegan.
Oh, right. Like you used to. Like what happened? I forgot.
Yeah.
It's pretty delicious.
But I used to.
I think about it often.
You think about it often. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now.
Is their cafeteria still open now? What during the
It
Probably
is.
not right now.
like?
I was just there a
I
couple
don't think-
days ago, and I was surprised that well, the one by Deerfoot Meadows was a couple days
Oh, yeah.
ago. But they were doing everything else. Like they have lineups outside of the store.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
I was waiting outside probably
How long?
10 minutes.
Oh, that's
About
nothing.
10
Why
minutes.
are there lineups at Costco?
Like out
Ratio
People
to-
need
because they
TVs,
really-
man.
well, they're doing their 6 feet or 6 meters or whatever it is. Like they're taking it so seriously that there's hardly anybody in the store once you get in the store. It's almost like you get a concierge service, when you go in, kind of thing. It's you got as many employees as people they allow in at one time.
I think it's the ratio thing. Like I think you're only allowed to have a certain amount of people to the amount of employees you have.
Well, what about the new 15-person rule? How does that work?
The what?
Didn't they just reduce like groups into
From
15?
50
It's
Oh.
5 now.
Is it 5? When did that happen?
Like
Oh my!
today?
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus!
Well, maybe that's just Ontario. Now that I'm thinking about it, but Ontario
I
went.
thought it was 15 in Alberta.
Could be.
Alberta just changed from 50 to 15 on like Thursday or Friday.
Okay, so you got a
Yeah.
McDonald's with drive-through. Does that mean they can have a max of up to 15 people in that building then, or?
Yeah. How many people does it take to run a McDonald's?
I don't know. I'm just saying, just trying to get an idea. I'm just trying to.
Is there a punch
They in
line?
Vancouver read
How
in
many
the
people
news
does it take to run a McDonald's?
that they had they shut down one of their Tim Hortons for being in violation of their rule because they were only allowed 10 people, and this particular Tim Hortons had 11. Like that's how,
Shit.
and so they suspended their business
Wow.
license for 3 days. That's like
Holy
that's how strict. And other than that, like the owner apparently had taken all of the precautions and was trying, but like one extra person walked in at the wrong time, I guess. And
Oh, shitty.
yeah, they're getting pretty serious, which is good. I much rather be on this side of things than whatever's going down south of the border.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that's scary.
We were kind of mentioning that the other day with if there is more like COVID-20, COVID-21, whatever, who would be the person to write that kind of human rights thing around, do you get to exit your house ever? Or because there's a lot of people kind of saying now that it's almost a infringing on their human rights that they have to be in quarantine, and what going to have to really put it down in black and white.
Yeah.
Should this kind of thing happen again? And who's going to write those laws? Like, that's a tough one. Like the human rights.
It's there.
Hmm?
Like Quebec has it. I think Saskatchewan has it. It's like basically it's like War Measures Act or whatever it is, right? The Quarantine Act.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I saw someone in Quebec got fined $1,000 for being outside her home.
Yeah, that just
when
sounds a
she
little
should have
bit
been
too
in
much, you
quarantine.
know?
Like,
I think
there.
it's more education. Like you can't be doing that. You can't be having like this martial law.
for sure. Yeah, but there are people who are up in arms about their human rights, and I agree. It's like herd. You got to protect the herd, all that kind of stuff. But they're gonna have to. Well, I guess no, right, Hart. They probably just have it in the Quarantine Act now.
I don't know. Is anybody buying a gun?
No.
I've actually talked to some.
I mean, I got guns here in case anybody was coming over.
We have chihuahuas. We're good. Have you met Zoe?
Yeah, you got chihuahuas. I know. It doesn't take long before you go down that path. Like I asked Doug, "Do you have a gun?" He's like, "Let's not go there quite yet."
Yeah.
When people start going mental after they've been cooped up for however long they've been cooped up, and with their children or their spouses or whatever that maybe aren't the easiest people to get along with, like people are going to be going crazy. So then it's kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about the U.S., right? It's like you have the right to bear arms. I saw lots of big lineups at gun stores for ammo. What's really shitty about the U.S. is that your healthcare is tied to your job. So when you lose your job, you lose your healthcare.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so.
And all the meds for mental health.
Oh yeah.
And they're not controlling it really well. Like they're in trouble, especially in New York. I heard was the worst, where they're already at that stage of having to decide like who gets treatment and who doesn't.
Yeah, it's like the worst. I think in New York is the hardest hit.
Yeah.
But the whole U.S. is like, I don't I don't know if it's changed, but I heard maybe it was Friday that Trump says he wants like America open for business by Easter.
Yeah.
I'm like,
he
I don't
just
think
had a
that's
press
happening
conference today, and I don't know. Maybe they've changed their approach to it but who knows? Like the map. When you look at the map of like the spread of it, it's like Canada has some spots, Mexico has some spots, and the U.S. is just like
it's like red. Yeah.
And everyone's seen these movies too. Like society's trained like our culture has trained Western society for a while now. Like the apocalypse is coming. This is how things are going to be when the apocalypse comes. You're going to need guns. You're going to need all equipment. Like
it's true. Yeah.
And then so people are like, okay, we're in that time now. Martial law, Quarantine Act, all these things. It must be time to go get those guns and go get those bug out bags and be ready because this is about to happen, kind of thing. So like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's
sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so here's a question for each of you. What has changed? Like, how has your perception on life or the world, or like just in general, how has that changed since this has gone down?
I think for me, it's changed a lot. I'm noticing that like how much we can be a digital society now. And we were kind of like, I think pre this, it was like, yeah, we have the ability to do Zoom conferences or work from home or that, and it's it was there, but now you see like I wonder how many businesses are actually, I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but how many are actually just going to transition to, not really requiring people in an office anymore, even more so, like in terms of real estate or what have you, right? Like for me, the other thing that's kind of cool is that like it's giving you an opportunity, like in the same vein, like talking, like my wife Johanna, she has been able to take yoga classes with her teachers that she hasn't been able to for years because they live elsewhere. So now they're sharing that online. It's really sort of Talk about flattening the curve. Well, it's like flattening the world even more so now, right? Like
That's
it's really
crazy.
connecting us in
What you
a
say.
pretty amazing way. We've been coming together as a community and just kind of sharing. Like there's just so much cool stuff going on, like in the midst of this sort of tragic event that's happening globally. So
I thought Hart brought up a really interesting point because I think it's cool to think about, like, in that same vein of like what's being added to the world in this time of things that we need. And I think, like, in the same thought, like, it'll be interesting to see like what's kind of being taken away, like what no longer serves a purpose in this new world after this point. Like we're gonna A lot of things have been put on hold, and a lot of things are going digital, and we'll be able to continue for those reasons. But I think that there will be a bunch of things that just stop or discontinue from here forward because, like, the world has seen, little to no need for it,
Does
kind
this
of
change
thing.
school, you think?
Maybe.
What
Is
was
this
that?
what? Sorry.
Yeah, I know. With all this homeschooling, they're like, screw it. If you could put your kids in school at 40 kids, 50 kid classes, or they can also school at home now. And I wonder if like the options are going to be there for parents now, where they can actually set up their kids if their wife or their husband or whoever's set up at home. That homeschooling starts off this way now. Like it can make it really popular, really quick, and fast track a lot of those kind of things with the technology we got.
From what
This
I've
can really
heard
change.
though, I don't know that parents want that, or
I
maybe
bet,
that's the
yeah.
memes I'm seeing on Facebook. Like I don't know, but you're right. I think that we're probably going to see some changes in the school system, especially if this carries on as long as they say it will, right? Like this is, I mean, school will be out obviously for the summer, but this might not be completely gone by September. So then what happens?
But you look at it like
Yeah.
from a child who has a lot of anxiety or anything like that, a lot of children that don't want to go to high school, and things like, is this the alternative for them, right? You like it could really change a lot of things, and it could,
Yeah.
I mean, we look at it in our boomers ways because that's how we know it, but this really can change everything. And I really think it could change it fast track and quick, especially even if companies can like take over and say, oh, well, we could do it privately, right? Where your kid's still getting his grades or her grades. Just a
Yeah, I
thought.
think it's fascinating. Like, um, to Basil's point, kind of like where things are kind of simplifying, everything's getting more simple, and people are having a chance to see what habits that they've had for maybe years that don't serve them anymore, or that don't even enter into their day anymore. So all of a sudden, like, I think people's identities and their habits that were formed by whatever their circumstances were, so they get their identity or their self confidence, whatever, from work, from who they are at work. And all of a sudden all that's just kind of ripped away. So it's like, who am I and what do I need? And maybe I don't need to, you know there's so many habits that I think people
That's
just
definitely
end up,
happening.
well, yeah. So, and then you can choose your habits after that. So that's the positive, I think, because if once you get rid of a bunch of the habits that you don't need anymore or aren't circumstantially a part of your life anymore, it's like, okay, well, do I want to take the time to actually implement habits that I can live with, forever now, and that are good and healthy and change. But it's so weird that yeah, people are not going to be the same people. They're just not going to be the same people
But they're going to be more
anymore.
them, right? If
Hopefully,
you do
unless
data
they
entry,
were.
if you're doing data
What's
entry and you're
that?
doing it from home, and you can do it from home, and all of a sudden you have more time for your dogs, you get more out of life out of it, right? So I think there could be a lot of really good things that come out of this. I really do. And I think,
For
it's
sure.
kind of like, you always see that, this could have been an email when it was a meeting. Like, I could have done this at home, right? I'm thankful I still go to work during the week. I actually like going to work, I'm thankful in that ways. But, I mean, some people, it just suits their lifestyle to be home, especially if it's a job that they can do. And probably just like that, they're kind of forced. And companies are also like, hey, we give you just a little bit of money every year so you can buy an office chair or whatever you need to be comfortable at home, and we kind of sort of pay your internet. I think it can go a really long way for a lot of people, and it can really help the quality of life. And I think that's what we got to make sure it does, is improve the quality of life, like, and maybe it brings up more social
Balance.
clubs where people have to get out. a really positive way of looking at
Definitely.
things, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an opportunity for people to get rid of excess. Like you're seeing, I mean, we really question now, like, do I need to go out? Do I need to spend money? Do I need to, and we're seeing like an impact on the environment when factories shut down. Like, I think we're gonna reevaluate some things. And then what I'm excited about too is that, like, I think this kind of environment is really like it's like a breeding ground for innovation. Like, I'm really excited to see what's going to come of this in business and school, like all across the board. Is like there's going to be some innovation happening on how to do things better, and it's going to make us more like resilient, I think, as a human race. And I also think that, like, right now, I think we're still in the panic phase, like I think people are still really anxious and we're still getting sort of like accustomed to this new normal. But I think once we get past that, I think we're going to see a lot more, and we're already seeing it now, but like a lot more community, a lot more compassion and empathy in the world. Like, I think it's going to sort of like bring that out once we get past this panic stage. And like, yeah, I'm looking forward to that part of it. Like, I obviously feel sad that it's impacting so many people with their jobs and their livelihood, and like people are really sick and dying and losing family members. But on the flip side of it is like there is like, if you look for it, there's going to be it's wartime. That's kind of how I see it, right? Like we're all fighting the same enemy, which makes us like creates this like environment for a global community. I sound like a total hippie right now.
What?
No, well said.
Okay, can you tell us what Amy just said? No, just kidding. No, that was well said, totally.
Which is the scary thing with is my mic on?
Yeah.
The scary thing with Trump is that, like, he's a wartime president now, right? That's makes him like makes you very popular, right? That's is he going to get are they going to do the elections there? Are they going to have anyway? That's another topic.
I honestly thought this was going to be the demise of Trump, just based on how he was handling it. But then I started reading today a little more about like, and I mean, the ratings of his
polls are good.
Announcements right now
wartime
are based on, well, yeah, like of course people are watching. You're the president of the United States. Like, people are going to watch your announcement. It doesn't mean that they're supporting you, right?
Right.
Like,
Hey,
they're looking for information.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
While you were talking about the compassion of people during this time, ironically, I got a text that said, due to COVID-19 and the high loss of jobs, you've received $208.49 Canadian. Follow our link below to claim it. I'm pretty sure that's a scam. I thought it was kind of ironic that it was right while you were talking about.
Holy shit.
It wasn't me. That wasn't set up.
I think it's unfortunate that yeah, while we have this opportunity to kind of move in that direction, there's still some people out there preying on others.
That's really shitty.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Another win I've seen, though, for a win on the positive side of the quarantine, a lot of bands are popping up and doing like live shows. Last week, Burton Cummings, he was kind of like the first one that I kind of saw doing it. And he was playing just in his living room with his phone and his little organ. And it was great. He was saying stories, and he did it for a few nights in a row. Yeah, it's Richie Blackmore, I think, from Deep Purple was on last night. I was watching him with his wife, and that was really cool in his living room. And like, and he's just so talented, right? CJ92, you know.
Keith Urban.
Yeah, Keith Urban, yeah. CJ92 have had a lot of bands like Bleep and stuff, and they're doing it throughout the week. But it's nice to see. I love it. Like, I'm actually sitting in my pajamas on my couch with my phone and my headphones, and I'm watching these people, and it's just so nice to see, like, you know, they got little stories, but they're having fun, and they're also isolated.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, this is something really cool that you look back on and go, remember those concerts? And this might change like Facebook concerts now, right? You know, I mean, they've been around for a while, but it might make them big where you can just sit at home and go, I'm going to watch the Jesus and Mary chain tonight from my living room, right? They're playing in Berlin. You know, I really think like in that way, it just can really change a lot of things. I've had a lot of positive experience with social media, but just with things I like and people going out of their way to do live stuff. I think last night was a local DJ was spinning in his garage. I didn't know who he really was, but it was fun. He was playing like some Fatboy Slim, so I shared that and watched that for like 20 minutes before I ADD and watching another show that I watched for 5 minutes and then something else. But there's a lot of little things that I'm really enjoying with the quarantining as well. Like I'm enjoying social media. What I don't like is the amount of sugar I'm eating. Like, you know, it's like,
Oh, really?
okay,
Sugar.
yeah. So, but other than that, it is kind of neat. But you know, it'd be nice to go back to live shows, and I think it's easy for us to quarantine here in Alberta as well because the weather hasn't been that great. So.
Yeah, today was beautiful.
True.
I think we're pretty lucky too. I mean, we have warm houses with, you know, internet and cable, and like there's so like we're pretty lucky.
Oh,
if
yeah.
this was back in like the 20s or something, you know what I mean? Like
the 90s?
Or if it was actual war, like all we have to do is sit at home and stay inside.
So what happens now?
Especially for like introverts, I'm like, not much.
I've been doing this for years.
So moving, but I just wonder, like, you know, are we hoping that we'll see like the curve sort of flatten out this week? Maybe this is the magical week where it'll be like, well, we knew these numbers were going to happen because more tests and stuff, but we're getting more and more weeks in and it's not going up. And hopefully we'll start to see it flatten out by the end of the week.
I saw some positive numbers from BC yesterday.
Okay. What were those numbers?
Well, just based on the modeling that they had expected to be like here on this date, and they were actually like more like here. So it was like just encouraging.
Yeah.
You said, is that DC you said?
BC, like British Columbia.
Oh, BC.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
You should go.
So basically they're saying, I mean, it's the next couple of weeks basically will tell the story, I think. But they were encouraged by it. I don't think they were like, yay, but they were like, that's good to see.
It's showing that what we're doing is working, but like I think we're gonna live like a version of modified life until probably at least September, October. Like this isn't like a week thing or a 2-week thing. Like this is probably gonna be going on for a while. There was like articles about plagues and like how they've just sort of like based on history, obviously not this particular virus, but how plagues work, and they have to also be careful of like a second outbreak, which is what China's doing right now, right? Like things have to be modified for some time. Like we're not going to be able to go back to normal in the next few weeks. There's no way.
Oh God, no.
And because it's so long, because that time frame's so long, that's what I mean. Like this is a perfect breeding ground for like innovation. Like things are going to change. So it'll be interesting to see how like hospitality, travel, like entertainment, all of those industries change and adapt to this. Like
Vegas have some like really heartwarming commercials already out that I'm seeing like on the NFL Network and stuff, but they're like, it's Vegas, and you never see Vegas like this, but it's actually really touching. And it's like, you are the star in our town, and we'll be waiting for you. And you're like, oh, Vegas. And you know, I'm not like the biggest fan, but it was actually quite. It's like, yeah, it was just really caring and endearing, right? You know,
yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be the next month or so. I hope it ends sooner than later, though.
Yeah, I think that people are focused on like, when is this going to be over? And at some point, it's similar to like 9/11, when it was like people were like, you know, going through security, and it was so different, and eventually you just adapt. Or like I remember when seatbelts came into play, and that was like a big uproar. Like people were like, what do you mean I have to wear a seatbelt? And now it's like the first thing you do when you get, like, I think I don't think this is going to be over. I think we're just going to adapt to a new world.
Yeah, like when they first introduced the loony.
Right? Yeah, I want my dollar
and then
bill
the toonie.
I think we're already being retrained. Like if I'm watching a movie, like for instance, The Night Watchman or whatever, or Night Manager, I see everything through a COVID lens now. You know, it's like they're too close, or did they just share that glass, or everything for old TV. Like it's
look at Amy and I.
You be in there, you're right. What?
Look at Amy and
What's
I,
that?
right?
We're social distancing.
We're social distancing.
They're a box apart.
I was watching Ozark today, and I did the exact same thing. They were in a bookstore, and I'm like, that's not 2 meters. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Have you guys? Do you guys watch Big Brother at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been watching like what's basically happened to that? Like that, I didn't. That's crazy. Like the story there.
We just
Yeah.
caught the episode on Wednesday before Survivor, and it was Basil was watching, and he's like, he got really upset at the end, like, oh no, like it's not coming back, like it was a big deal for him.
I'm just kidding.
At one point, I was like saying like earlier, I'm like, well, they're like the safest people in the country. They're like totally isolated. And
Yeah.
then like you don't think about like the rest of the people working like behind the scenes. You're like, oh
True.
yeah, wow.
Well,
And
what
it
if-
was more about government order. The Ontario government ordered.
Right, non-essential, right?
You guys caught up on Survivor?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's one thing. It's like I always seem to be caught up on TV now because there's lots of time.
I'm like, I was telling Amy the other day, I don't think there's a spoiler, but I'm like way more into like the deserted island, the island of Misfit Toys or whatever.
Misfit Toys.
But like, they're just, that's more interesting to watch than the actual teams now.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I saw Does Like Old Weed like halfway through that. I said to Jason, I like it. Does Like Old Weed.
Mhm.
Nice.
It's true. I like New Weed too, but
I like New Weed.
I like that that's how these kinds of things end. Like we've been noticing that with recording Love and Herbs, like it just like kind of gets to a point where it kind of just
Yeah.
like we're just like,
Yeah, and
All right.
natural.